Hello FIGGIE fiends and collectors, this is me, Daniel East 1000, back again with another Star Wars The Black Series figure review. Today we're going to be having a look at a character that I've been really looking forward to getting my hands on. This one has also subsequently become incredibly popular, and from what I've seen has sold out with most online retailers. So if you do want to get this one, I'd certainly recommend getting your pre-orders in for the next allotted batch that are hopefully coming. Today we're going to be having a look at Moff Gideon from The Mandalorian. First, as per usual, we're going to have a quick look at the packaging and then the figure itself, which is what we're really here for. So here we have this standard Star Wars The Black Series packaging. It's the new style, which has this lovely sort of beveled edge there with a picture of the character. Of course, you've got the bubble where the figure would sit, Star Wars The Black Series, the show or media that the character is from, name of the character, some legal MacGuffin there. That lovely artwork of Moff Gideon, who's looking very menacing on that box art just there. Of course, the colour band does continue all the way round the box. If we look on the back, you've got a picture of the character again and a bio on the character as well, of which I will include in the description below. As always, you've got that lovely legal MacGuffin, and that's pretty much it for the packaging itself. So let's have a look at the reason why we're here. Moff Gideon, who is such an imposing character. I find him quite an intriguing one, and I really do hope we get to explore a lot of his backstory in future Star Wars content, just because there's a lot of mystery as to how he obtains a certain item, which we'll talk a little bit about in this review. So here we have the figure itself. My camera will focus in. The head sculpt is absolutely on point. That face technology doing wonders once again. I will just mention that on my copy, if you just have a look just around here, how are you going to see it? There is a bit of a moulding mark on his lower chin, or around about here, which is a bit of a bugger. I've only just really realised that coming to record this review, but it's not too noticeable. It's just one of those things that if you can see these on pegs and you're allowed to, you know, sort of pick and choose which one you want, maybe look out for that. But other than that, that's like a really minor little factory error on mine. Still doesn't really take away too much from the figure's likeness to the actor. Just really cool. He's got his hair slicked back like he has in the show. He's got this very big, long cape that does have a tendency to fall off, as we've just seen there. It's just fixed in by this very small peg, and that just slots in on his back there. That's one accessory. You might want to glue that in if you don't really want to have it fall out all the time. But if we look around his costume, he's not like how you would imagine a typical Moff to look like. Rather than being in that Imperial grey, he's wearing this sort of tactical black. And I think that's something that I find really intriguing about this character, is the fact that he's one of those that would probably be more in the fight rather than behind the barricades. That's just the impression I get. So he's kind of got like a very tactical, sort of stealthy look to him with that black armour. And you know, the clothes that he wears, you know, the sort of gear, you know, the gloves, they're not the sort of gloves that someone, you know, standing on a bridge or in command would just be wearing. You know, these look like something you'd wear when you're out in the field sort of thing, because they're sort of padded. Yeah, it just looks like someone who's more ready for combat, and his boots as well somewhat indicate that. They've got straps on, rather than looking more regal that other Moffs and Imperial commanders would have. So that's something I find really interesting about this character, is just his character design sort of gives you an indication as to who he sort of is. Don't know, that's just me, and that's sort of like one of the reasons why I like buying Star Wars figures. You know, certain characters' backstories, like you look at him and you kind of get a sense to his backstory without actually having it fully given to you, if that makes sense. If we talk about his accessories in relation to that, the big thing is the dark saber, of which he is wielding in his hands just there. I mean, the dark saber is a weapon that has a lot of history behind it. It's been passed down from many different characters, and how Moff Gideon managed to get it is just really fascinating to me, and I'd love to find out. or see that story play out effectively. Just such a cool accessory. I love the work that Hasbro's put into that. The hilt itself and the sort of transparent white with the black is just really, really perfect. You can take the blade out of the hilt. I'm not going to do that in this review, but you can do that. Furthermore, as I did mention, he does come with the cape. I would have liked it if the cape was soft goods, but yeah, Hasbro's cheaped out a little bit there. It's not a bad thing though, it's just it would have been nice if they did that, just so it didn't hinder some posability and just had a bit more of a flow to it. Furthermore, he comes with his blaster, or a little tiny pistol that I've got him holding in his hand there. He does use this very briefly in The Mandalorian to have a bit of a pot shot at the child, and that does sit in his holster very, very well. His holster is just there, so if I just pop that in for you. So there you go. So that's pretty much accessories out the way and done with. In terms of articulation, this guy has a ball jointed head, ball jointed shoulders, of which surprisingly are not hindered due to those shoulder pads. They are a very rubbery plastic and have been sculpted or stuck on in a way that you can sort of move them into position, so you can move his arm up more than you probably would be able to if they were just, you know, solidly stuck down on that joint. So you can move them and get them into a better position. You've got ball jointed elbows, ball jointed wrists, ball jointed torso, ball jointed hips, swivels at the top of the thigh, ball hinged knees and ball hinged ankles with the classic rocker joints just on there. So you can get this guy in some pretty damn perfect action poses, and you definitely want that with Moff Gideon, particularly with that face off against the Mandalorian. And we're just waiting on another Mandalorian to be released that comes with that Beskar spear, because no doubt Hasbro will release that at some point. Just before I wrap this review up, I will just say they've got the height proportion on this guy pretty damn perfect. The actor in real life isn't that tall, and they've managed to capture that with this figure, which I think is chef's kiss, pretty damn great. Nonetheless though, Moff Gideon is a really, really imposing character to have on your figure shelf, and is just one that, if you are a fan of The Mandalorian, is a must to add to your collection for sure. I'm really, really impressed with the work that Hasbro has put into this guy. Yes, I would have liked it if they included a soft goods cloak, because this one does fall off a little too easily for my liking, particularly when you're playing around and posing him. Other than that, this figure is pretty damn bob on, and I think personally my favourite figure in the entire wave, of which I did an unboxing video on, link up there somewhere. What do you guys think of this guy? Have you got him? Are you planning on getting him? Let me know in the comments down below. And this is me, Daniel East 1000, signing out, and thank you very much for watching.